Let's get right to the measles. Growing fears of a major outbreak. The CDC issuing that new warning. New cases emerging in Arizona. And of course, there's worry with things getting worse there, possibly with thousands of people visiting right now for the Super Bowl. ABC's Cecilia Vega is in Glendale, Arizona, the site of the big game. She has the latest. Good morning, Cecilia.
Robin, good morning to you. 1 million people will pour into Phoenix for this big game. And as they do, these tourist descending, health officials here are struggling to contain a highly contagious measles outbreak. As Super Bowl weekend begins, an alarming new warning. Doctors telling anyone exposed and not vaccinated from measles to stay away from public places for 21 days, hoping to prevent this from turning into a super-sized outbreak.
A big thing with measles is that it's extremely contagious, and 9 out of 10 people exposed to a person with measles who aren't already protected are going to come down with the measles themselves.
The University of Arizona sending medical students to the game to help spot people with measles-like symptoms. This as doctors in Arizona are racing against the clock to find others who may have been exposed to the highly contagious virus, which can spread just from coughing and sneezing. Health officials now warning this is a critical point in this outbreak, saying as many as 1,000 people here could be at risk. The epicenter of the outbreak, California. Health officials say an unvaccinated family was infected when they visited Disneyland. Then a woman exposed to them became ill. And last week, she went to a Phoenix area clinic and may have exposed 195 children to this highly contagious virus.
Anyone who was in the Phoenix Children's East Valley Clinic was actually potentially exposed while the woman was in that clinic area.
The CDC reports 84 cases of measles nationwide across 14 states in just the past month. The real concern is how contagious measles is. It can be contracted by inhaling it hours after an infected person has left the area, which makes scenarios like this one a potential breeding ground. Robin?
Cecilia, thank you. And that's why we're going to talk to ABC's Dr. Richard Besser about that more. Going to the stadium, how big of a risk is that?
The risk is really very, very small. You know, there are 84 cases. They're spread out around the country. In Arizona, those 7 cases are mainly in one family. So your risk is very, very small in that stadium. And if you're vaccinated, your risk is really non-existent.
So talk about that a little bit. Those vaccinated against those who are not vaccinated.
Yeah, so if you've been vaccinated against measles and you're exposed to it, your chance of getting the disease is 1%. If you haven't been vaccinated, 90%. The vaccine really, really works.
It's so drastic, the difference.
Incredible.
Like that. We've heard the health officials say if you have the symptoms, stay at home. But what are the symptoms?
Yeah, I mean, people think about the rash, but the early symptoms of measles, fever, cough, runny nose, pink eye, that's what they're going to be looking at. You can have that for 4 days before that rash. So if you have those symptoms, stay home, watch the game on TV.
I know you're continuing to get a lot of questions on Twitter about this.
I am.
You'll be back on it today.
For sure.
Thank you.